Today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanism in Fog of Love, a two-player romantic comedy board game. I never thought I'd say that about a board game, but this game exists and it is very, very clever. There are so many mechanisms that support that theme of a romantic comedy. And I happen to love romantic comedy movies, so this theme works really, really well for me in board game form. There's a ton of interesting mechanisms in this game, starting with the interesting tutorial of how it teaches you the game through cards instead of a rule book. There's a mechanism on the board where you're trying to move different aspects of your personality or adjust aspects of your personality to meet your end game goals. So this is a mechanical game, but there also is storytelling that you can participate in if you want to, as you kind of build your character and build your relationship with the player you play against. And not only are you playing against them, but you're also kind of playing with them. You're having a relationship with them. So even though you're trying to achieve your own goals, you also hopefully have a shared destiny that you're trying to achieve, or a shared, both of you can win, basically, based on the different goals in your relationships. There are several different stages to the game that deal with different levels of the relationship. When things are light, when things get serious, when there's a lot of drama. All these things are represented by different decks of cards and scenes that you actually play and interact with the opponent. Tons of interesting stuff. I recommend watching a full video about it. There are plenty of other videos out there that do that. But the one thing I want to talk about is a very simple feature, a decision you make at the beginning of the game that I really, really like. And these are the feature cards. These represent the first things that you notice about your opponent, about the other person. Opponent isn't quite the right word in this game. Your partner. The first things you notice about your partner when you met them. This works both thematically and mechanically. So you get a hand of 5 of these cards, and the thing that really caught my eye with these is that normally in a game when you do something like this, when you're assigning traits, whether they're thematic or mechanical, these are both. You draw a bunch, and then you pick some for yourself. But in this game, you're choosing it for the other player. You're saying, okay, the first thing I noticed about you was that was your seducing sense, and that you were short, and that you had a beauty mark. So you're picking 3 out of the 5, and you're assigning them to the other player. And so you get these thematic story elements of what you noticed, and it's about the character. It's not about the actual person that you're playing against. And there's also a little mechanical thing here that I won't go into in detail, but it's basically a little boost to their goals at the beginning of the game. And you don't know if that boost aligns with their actual goals or not. But I love how there is that mechanical aspect, but also especially the storytelling aspect of this, that you're applying these attributes to the other player. I think in more mechanical games with maybe not as strong a theme as Fog of Love, this would still work really, really well for a nice level of player interaction at the beginning of the game. Just the idea, or even throughout the game, of assigning traits, assigning anything to another player to help define who they are in your own eyes. You see them this way, and that's how that matters in the context of the game. I think this could work in a variety of games, especially where there's player interactions or character interactions, political games, where you might see someone very differently than the way that they define and they see themselves. Such a cool mechanism, these feature cards. I really, really like that. If you've played Fog of Love and you have a favorite mechanism, or you can think of a game that actually does this, where you assign attributes or assign something to other players that helps define who they are in the context of the game, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Thanks.